I slammed the eviction notice against the mahogany conference table so hard the crystal water glasses rattled, spilling ice cubes like tiny avalanches across the polished surface. You think you can just waltz in here with your daddy's money and boot out a family that's paid their dues for decades? Lady, I've buried worse than you under paperwork. The room full of suited executives froze, their eyes darting between me and the woman whose Botox-frozen face was finally cracking into something resembling panic. But the real shocker? I just revealed I wasn't some lowly tenant rep. I was the ghost owner who'd been pulling strings from the shadows for years, and her empire of petty tyrannies was about to crumble like the cheap latte she clutched like a lifeline. That was the moment it all ignited. But let's rewind to how this billionaire harpy named Victoria Vicky Hargrove decided my family's quiet existence in that corporate high-rise was her personal affront to the universe. It started innocently enough, or as innocent as anything gets in the cutthroat world of Manhattan real estate, where dreams get foreclosed faster than you can say escalation clause. My name's Alex Rivera, 28, the kind of guy who blends into the background like decaf in a Starbucks line. I clawed my way up from a rundown walk-up in the Bronx to a corner office at a mid-tier tech firm. But my real secret? I quietly bought the entire Vanguard Towers building 2 years back through a shell company. Why? Revenge, pure and simple. See, my folks had slaved away in the service industry. Dad is a doorman here for 25 years. Mom cleaning suites until her hands bled, only to get squeezed out by corporate greed. I wasn't about to let that happen again. Not on my watch. Vanguard Towers wasn't your typical co-op nightmare. It was corporate housing, a fancy term for subsidized apartments leased to employees of the building's anchor tenants. Tech bros, finance sharks, the occasional artist pretending to code. My family had scored one on the 12th floor after Dad's loyalty bonus turned into a pink slip threat. We weren't rich, but we had stability. Ocean blue walls Mom painted herself, a balcony where Dad grilled arepas on Sundays, and my little sister Mia blasting K-pop while cramming for her SATs. It was home, until Vicky Hargrove slithered in. Vicky was the epitome of that viral Karen archetype, blonde bob, Lululemon everything, and a voice like nails on a chalkboard dipped in entitlement. Her husband, some hedge fund wizard named Preston, had just inked a deal to convert the lower floors into luxury condos for his ultra-wealthy cronies. Vicky, self-appointed queen of the yet-to-exist HOA, Homeowners Association, because even in rentals, she needed a throne, saw our lowly family unit as a blight on her vision of marble-floored nirvana. This isn't Section 8 housing, she'd hiss at board meetings, I'd eavesdrop on from the vents. Perks of owning the joint incognito. We need to elevate the demographic, starting with them. The first sign of trouble was the passive-aggressive notes, slipped under our door like venomous serpents. Dear residents, please be advised that the aroma of ethnic cuisine is disrupting the refined ambience of Vanguard Towers. Grills are prohibited per updated bylaws. Ethnic cuisine, Dad's arepas, made with love and Abuelita's recipe, wafting one floor down to Vicky's penthouse suite. Mia found it hilarious at first. Karen's allergic to flavor. But I saw the storm brewing. I kept my head down, playing the dutiful son who visited on weekends, all while monitoring the building's digital logs from my laptop. Vicky was rallying the other tenants, the ones dazzled by her promises of exclusive amenities if they signed her petition to restructure leases. It escalated at the monthly resident mixer in the lobby lounge, a ritzy affair with finger sandwiches and overpriced Chardonnay. I was there incognito, nursing a soda, when Vicky cornered Mom by the cheese platter. Mrs. Rivera, isn't it? Your son's doing so well in tech, I hear. Perhaps he could afford something. Upscale? This building's evolving. Mom, ever the diplomat with her soft Puerto Rican lilt, smiled through gritted teeth. We're happy here, Miss Hargrove. It's home. Vicky's laugh was a scalpel. Home? Darling, this is temporary corporate quarters. And frankly, with the renovations, we can't have distractions. Distractions. That word stuck like gum on my shoe. By the next week, the notes turned to emails. Formal complaints about noise pollution from Mia's study sessions, clutter from Dad's toolbox in the shared hallway. Then came the inspections, unannounced pop-ins by Vicky's HOA volunteers, who were really just her Botox buddies in athleisure, nitpicking baseboards and sniffing for unauthorized scents. I wanted to laugh it off, but when they cited us for a structural violation over a loose shower head, which I'd fixed myself that morning, I knew it was war. That's when I decided to play my hand subtly. As the anonymous owner, I leaked a memo to the board. All leases protected under federal housing regs. No evictions without cause. Vicky flipped, called an emergency meeting, ranting about activist investors ruining property values. The room, packed with wide-eyed tenants, ate it up at first. "She's fighting for us," one whispered. But I seeded doubt. Anonymous Reddit threads from burner accounts, posting scans of her petition with redacted names. Billionaire busybody targeting working families. Sign her list and kiss your rent control goodbye. The backlash started slow. A few downvotes, then viral shares on local subreddits like r/NYC apartments. Classic Karen move, commenters piled on. Evicting the doorman's family? Ice cold. Vicky doubled down, of course. She lawyered up, her shark in a Tom Ford suit filing motions to challenge the mysterious owner's authority. Press releases hit the post. Philanthropic heiress battles slumlord sabotage in iconic NYC tower. Philanthropic? The woman who'd once sued a barista for emotional distress over a wrong foam-to-espresso ratio? I chuckled from my actual office downtown, drafting counterfilings under my shell corpse name. But the real gut punch came home. Dad, who'd given 25 years to this place, found the eviction notice taped to our door one rainy Tuesday. Probable cause, breach of community standards. Standards? For existing while brown? I tore it down, my blood boiling hotter than Dad's coffee. "This ends now," I told them, finally spilling my secret over plantains and tears. Mom's eyes widened. "Me, Joe, you bought the whole building?" Mia high-fived me like I'd won the lottery. Dad just hugged me, whispering, "For us?" "Yeah, Pops. For us." And for every family she'd steamrolled in her path to elevated living. The confrontation was electric. I scheduled an owner's audit for the boardroom. Neutral ground, all glass walls overlooking Central Park. Vicky arrived early, flanked by her entourage. Preston scrolling stocks on his phone, a paralegal with a tablet thick as a Bible, and two influencers she'd roped in for transparency vlogs. I walked in last, casual in chinos and a button-down, carrying nothing but a USB drive and the weight of years of silence. "Ladies and gentlemen," I started, plugging in the drive to project our lease history on the smart screen. Slides flipped, Dad's commendations, Mom's spotless reviews, Mia's honor roll scans. "This family isn't breaching anything. They're the heart of this building." Murmurs rippled. Vicky leaned forward, her pearls clacking like warning beads. "And you are?" "Alex Rivera, son of Javier and Elena, and the majority stakeholder in Vanguard Properties, LLC. Gasps echoed. Preston choked on his Perrier. The influencer's camera's word to life. Vicky recovered first, her smile a rictus. "Charming fiction, Mr. Rivera. But ownership records show Hargrove Holdings with controlling interest in the conversion project." I clicked to the next slide. A notarized deed transfer, time-stamped 2 years prior. "Read the fine print, Vicky. Your project was a sublease. I own the freehold, the building, the air rights, all of it." The room spun into chaos. Tenants texting furiously, lawyers huddling. Vicky's face drained of color, then flushed crimson. "This is outrageous. Fraud. I'll sue." "For what?" "Exercising my rights." I leaned in, voice low and steady, the Midwestern calm I'd faked from years of boardroom poker faces. "You filed that eviction on fabricated claims. Slander, harassment, maybe even housing discrimination if the DOJ gets wind. But hey, fight me. I'll drag every dirty laundry into court. Your barista lawsuits, the time you accidentally poisoned the community garden with Roundup because the kale was too peasant-y." She sputtered, spraying accusations like a malfunctioning sprinkler. "You people always play the victim card. This building was a dump before we invested. Before you, I cut her off, the hook sinking deep. Dad kept the lobby spotless while you complained about his sweaty uniforms. Mom polished your suite while you stiffed her on tips. And now you want us gone because... What? We don't match your Instagram filter. The board shifted uncomfortably. One tenant, a quiet accountant named Raj, nodded slowly. She's right, he muttered. We've all seen the notes. The backlash ignited like dry tinder. By evening, Evict Karen was trending on X. Screenshots of Vicky's emails circulating like wildfire, amplified by those influencers who'd live-tweeted the meeting. Wait, the owner's the target? Plot twist. Local news vans clogged the curb. A fiery Latina reporter from Telemundo cornered Vicky outside. Mike thrust like a sword. Ms. Hargrove, comments on allegations of racial bias in your eviction push. Vicky's response, a shrill "this is a witch hunt," only fueled the flames. Protests popped up overnight. Signs reading Vanguard for all, not just the 1%, waved by baristas, doormen, even the falafel guy from the corner cart. I could have stopped there, let the court dates bleed her dry. But revenge isn't a sprint. It's a marathon with spikes. Part one of my plan was exposure, hiring a PI to dig into Hargrove Holdings' underbelly. Turns out, Vicky's philanthropy was a front for laundering Preston's insider trades. Leaks to the Times, anonymous tips, redacted docs. The feds perked up. Subpoenas flew faster than her private jet to the Hamptons. Meanwhile, at home, the mood lifted like fog off the Hudson. Dad fired up the grill. Legally now, Eho? And we laughed over charred edges and stories of his wilder doorman days. Mia started a petition of her own. Keep Vanguard family friendly. It hit 5K signatures in a week, drawing celebs like Lin-Manuel Miranda, retweeting with fire emojis. Proud of these fighters, he captioned. Vicky's vlogs? Crickets. Subscribers fleeing like rats from her sinking yacht. But she wasn't done clawing. Desperate, she went nuclear. A smear campaign, hiring bots to flood forums with Rivera family's criminal ties, lies. Dad's only crime was jaywalking once in '98. It backfired spectacularly when a sleuth on TikTok traced the IPs to her PR firm. Outrage boiled over. A viral thread dissected her hypocrisy. Billionaire begs for community while evicting the actual community. Protests swelled, blocking her garage exit with a human chain of chanting locals. Karen goes home. They roared, phones capturing her meltdown, tears streaking mascara, screaming at cops about her rights. I watched from the balcony, coffee in hand, as the first cracks showed in her facade. The bitter end was coming, but not without one last twist. See, owning the building meant I could rewrite the rules. I called a tenant vote. Approve my proposal to cap rents at 30% of income. Convert the gym to a family rec center. And, best part, install a community garden kale-free. The vote? Unanimous, except for Vicky's empty chair. She decamped to a temporary villa in Palm Beach, but not before I serve her with a countersuit. $2 mill for defamation, plus punitive damages for intentional infliction of emotional distress. The courtroom was a circus 6 months later. Spring sunlight slanting through federal windows like judgment rays. Vicky took the stand in Chanel, spinning tales of good intentions gone awry. Her lawyer, a silver fox from Skadden, painted me as the villain, a vengeful upstart wielding undue power. But the evidence mounted like a tidal wave. Emails, witness testimonies from tenants she'd bullied, even audio from that boardroom showdown, her voice tinny and toxic. They don't belong here. My cross? Brutal. Ms. Hargrove, you call my mother's cooking a nuisance. Was that before or after she cleaned your vomit from the lobby after your third martini? The jury, diverse, working-class New Yorkers, didn't laugh. They seethed. Backlash in real time. Live tweets from the gallery. Justice for Rivera spiking. Preston squirmed beside her, his trades unraveling in a parallel SEC probe. The verdict dropped like a guillotine. Liable on all counts, $5 mill payout, and a restraining order barring her from Vanguard property. She shrieked, "This is America. I built this city." But the judge's gavel silenced her. Outside, cheers erupted. Mom embraced me. whispering, "For your abuelo, too." Vicky slunk away, tabloids branding her the eviction queen dethroned. Her marriage? Crumbled. Preston filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable entitlement. Her empire? Auctioned off to cover fines. The penthouse snapped up by a non-profit for affordable artist lofts. We stayed, of course. Dad retired with a golden handshake I arranged. Mom started a catering side hustle from the new kitchen co-op. Mia aced her SATs and headed to Colombia on a full ride. Me? I kept the deed quiet, just a shadow guardian. But every Sunday grill, every laugh echoing down the hall, it's a reminder. In this city of wolves, sometimes the underdog bites back. And Vicky? Last I heard, she's hawking essential oils on QVC. Her rants reduced to infomercial disclaimers. Bitter? Nah. Poetic. But wait, that wasn't the end. Turns out, in the haze of victory, I'd overlooked one loose thread. Vicky's daughter, a trust fund TikToker named Britt, who'd been live-streaming the whole saga from her mom's Hamptons hideout. "Mom's not the villain." "You are," she'd wailed in videos that racked up pity likes from blue-check edgelords. At first, it was noise. Her follower count dipped as the truth vids resurfaced. But Britt was savvy, pivoted to exposing corporate greed, framing me as the faceless mogul crushing the little guy, irony alert. She doxed my firm's address, egged on flash mobs of solidarity protesters who spray-painted Rivera equals robber baron on the lobby glass. I laughed it off at first, hired security, issued statements, but the controversy festered. Clients got jittery. A big contract with a greenwashing startup ghosted us after Britt's tearful AMA on Reddit. "He ruined my family," she sobbed, conveniently omitting the eviction attempt. The backlash looped. Old allies turning, new Karens rising in her image. Is Alex the real entitlement? Threads popped up, dissecting my secret ownership as manipulative. Even Mia got hate DMs. "Your bro's a hypocrite," forcing her to go private. It stung, that mirror Vicky held up. Was I any better, playing God from the shadows? Sleepless nights on the balcony, staring at the glittering skyline. I questioned it. Dad noticed, clapped my shoulder over cafecito. "Mijo, you fought for right. Let the noise fade." But noise doesn't fade in the echo chamber. It amplifies. Britt's pivot went viral when she collabed with a podcaster exposing hidden billionaires. Me painted as the puppet master, Vanguard as my feudal fiefdom. The escalation hit peak absurdity at the annual block party I'd greenlit. Food trucks, bounce houses, a mariachi band belting La Bamba. Britt crashed it, megaphone in hand, flanked by a ragtag crew of sign wavers. People over profits. Rivera out. Chants rose, drowning the music. Tenants milled awkwardly. Raj from accounting confronted her. "Your mom's the one who started this." But cameras captured the chaos. Clips sliced to make me the tyrant calling cops. I hadn't. Security just de-escalated. Viral hell ensued. CNN picked it up. Tenant uprising in luxury tower. Is ownership the new oppression? My inbox flooded. Threats, interview requests, a weird marriage proposal from conspiracy theorist. I went dark, holding up with family, plotting my countermove. This time, no shadows. A presser in the lobby, me in jeans and a hoodie, flanked by Mom, Dad, Mia. "I'm no mogul," I said, voice cracking just enough for authenticity. "I'm a kid who watched his parents get screwed by folks like the Hargroves. We own this to protect it. For all of you." Slides again. Rent caps in action. Averages down 15%. The garden thriving with community plots. Testimonials from tenants Vicky had targeted. A single mom graphic designer. An elderly couple from Queens. Britt live tweeted from afar, but her barbs fell flat against the human faces. "See the receipts." I ended. Not greed. Gratitude. The tide turned slow, then swift. Britt's followers plateaued. Her exposé docuseries got panned as vindictive fanfic. She faded to influencing dog yoga in L.A. Last seen hawking merch with Karen's kid, ironic tease. Peace returned. Block party redeemed as a unity fest, my firm landing bigger fish on the social justice wave. But the scar? It lingers. Every anonymous email, every sideways glance reminds me, revenge tastes sweet, but its afterburn is ash. Years on, Vanguard's a beacon, diverse, affordable, alive with block parties and balcony grills. Mom's catering books, solid gigs. Dad mentors young doormen. Mia's studying urban policy, vowing to fix the system from inside. Me? I sold a minority stake to a co-op trust, stepping back to advise. Vicky? Whispers say she's in therapy, penning a memoir no one's buying. Entitled No More, a redemption arc. I wish her well, in that distant, don't call us way. But if she ever slinks back, eviction papers in hand, I'll be waiting, keys in pocket, with a smile sharper than her old latte stain. Because in this city, the house always wins when the house is home. Life settled into a rhythm after the verdict, the kind of easy groove you earn the hard way, like a favorite vinyl skipping less with each spin. Morning started with Dad's percolator gurgling in the kitchen, the rich aroma of Bustelo cutting through the haze of yesterday's battles. I'd shuffle in, still rumpled from late-night scrolls through property law PDFs, and Mom would slide me a plate of scrambled eggs flecked with cilantro, her way of saying, "Eat me, Joe. The world's not ending today." Mia, now a freshman navigating Columbia's ivy-draped chaos, FaceTime from her dorm, regaling us with tales of pretentious profs and underground poetry slams. You should have seen this guy's thesis on gentrification. Total shade at Vicky's type. Laughter bubbled, easy and warm, chasing shadows from the corners. Vanguard Towers hummed with new energy. The garden I'd championed exploded into a riot of color. Heirloom tomatoes from Raj's plot rubbing elbows with basil that perfumed the air like Italian grandma's secrets. Tenants who'd once cowered at board meetings now hosted potlucks. Korean barbecue one week, Jamaican jerk chicken the next, turning the rooftop into United Nations of flavors. I wandered those gatherings like a benevolent ghost, nursing a beer, listening to stories that mirrored my own. The nurse from Haiti who'd dodged evictions in Brooklyn, the coder from Mumbai, subletting under the table to send cash home. "You gave us roots, Alex," the nurse said one night, clinking her solo cup to mine. Roots. Yeah, that was the word. No more treading water in this concrete jungle. But fame, or infamy, has a long tail, coiling back when you least expect. My countersuit payout? Wired to a trust for tenant scholarships, but the headlines lingered. Bronx boy billionaire ousts Upper East Side elite. Job offers poured in, TED Talks, op-eds for the Times, but so did the vultures. A producer from some true crime pod called Evicted pitched a series, The Rivera Reckoning. Hero, or a hustler? I passed, but clips surfaced anyway. Grainy footage from the protest, my voice amplified in slow-mo. Read the fine print, Vicky. Memes exploded. Me as a Cape Crusader keying a cartoon Karen's Prius, captioned when the tenant turns landlord. It should have been flattering, but the scrutiny chafed. At work, colleagues ribbed me gently. "Hey, shadow owner, spare a penthouse?" But whispers followed. "Lucky break." Or did he game the system? My boss, a no-nonsense Korean-American VP named Lena, pulled me aside after a client dinner. "You're hot copy now, Alex. Use it, don't let it use you." Wise words, but easier said. Dates fizzled. One graphic designer ghosted after Googling me. "Too much drama, babe." Another, a fiery journalist, grilled me over tapas. So, owning incognito, is that ethical or just sneaky? I dodged with a grin, but inside doubt-gnawed. Had I become the monster I slew? The real test came that fall, when City Council floated a right-to-ownership bill, empowering tenants to buy into buildings like Vanguard. Sounded noble, but Vicky's ghost stirred. From her Palm Beach exile, she funneled cash to opponents via a PAC called Preserve Property Freedom. Read, keep the poor in their place. Op-eds in the Post lambasted vigilante investors like me, quoting concerned residents who sounded suspiciously like Brit's burner tweets. Rivera's model breeds chaos. Next it'll be squatters with deeds. I testified at the hearing, suit crisp, nerves steel. The chamber reeked of old leather and older grudges, counselors peering down like judges at a dog show. Mr. Rivera, draw the Brooklyn pole with a comb over. Your story's inspiring, but isn't this just one man playing God? What about due process for folks like Ms. Hargrove? The room tittered. I swallowed fire. Due process? She filed bogus evictions without a hearing. This bill levels the field, gives families like mine a fighting chance before the Vickies of the world rewrite the rules. Applause rippled from the gallery. Activists in HOA hell no tease. But outside, counter-protesters waited, signs blaring, "Don't steal our equity." Led by a silver-haired lobbyist in a camel coat, they chanted about socialist seizures. I slipped out a side door, heart pounding, only to bump into a familiar face. Preston Hargrove, nursing a cigarette under the marquee. Gaunt, graying, he looked like a deflated balloon animal. "Alex," he rasped, exhaling smoke like defeat. "Vicky's unraveling. The book's a flop, the trade's probes eating us alive. She misses the fight." Pity flickered unbidden. "Tell her to pick better battles, Preston. Like therapy." He chuckled bitterly, flicking his but into the gutter. "Too late for that. But watch your back." Brit's digging again. Chills spidered my spine as I cabbed home, the city lights blurring into warnings. Brit's next salvo landed like a sucker punch. A Substack newsletter, unhoused heiress, serializing diaries from her mom's persecution. Vignettes of poolside despair, laced with half-truths. Me as the ruthless upstart who'd stolen their legacy. It gained traction in alt-right corners, then bled into mainstream. A Fox segment framing the bill as revenge politics. Outrage brewed anew. My phone buzzed with alerts. Tenants fielding door knocks from concerned citizens, echoing Brit's script. "Is Alex selling us out?" I rallied the co-op that weekend. Emergency meeting in the lounge. Faces familiar and fraught. Raj pacing, the nurse twisting her bracelet. "We got trolls at the gates," I admitted, projecting Brit's latest post. Gasps, then fury. That little mom cut in, voice steady. "No hate, familia. Facts." We crowdsourced a response. Video testimonials, a petition countering the smears. Mia scripted it, from the fam that fought back, uploading to YouTube with lo-fi beats and skyline shots. Views climbed. Shares from influencers who'd ghosted Vicky years back. The controversy peaked at a debate forum. Me versus the lobbyist, moderated by a neutral NPR type. Sweat beaded under the lights as he opened. "Mr. Rivera, critics say your ownership was a Trojan horse for control." Response. I leaned in, channeling Dad's quiet strength. "Control?" I handed keys to a trust. "This is about choice. Tenants choosing stability over speculation." The lobbyist sneered. "Romantic, but markets need freedom. Your heroics chilled investment." Cut to audience Q&A. A single mom stood, voice trembling. "Freedom? Try evictions at Christmas." The room erupted. My side cheered. Brit crashed the afterparty virtually, hijacking the live chat. "Lies. My family's the victim." Moderators banned her, but screenshots spread. Backlash flipped. Her Substack suspended for defamation adjacent, sponsors bailing. Preston called again. Voice hollow. "She's spiraling, Alex. Blames you for everything." I hung up, staring at the eviction notice I'd framed as a trophy. Bitter irony. The daughter paying for the mother's sins. Winter thawed into spring, the bill passing 6-4 amid backroom deals. Vanguard celebrated with a ribbon cutting for the co-op annex. Affordable units for essential workers. I toasted with Dad. To roots. But the wind felt hollow. Brit's shadow lingered, a reminder that revenge's ripples drown the innocent. I reached out anonymously, scholarship in her name, for journalism ethics. Corny? Maybe. But cycles break with small acts, not sledgehammers. Still, late nights, I wonder, if Vicky knocked now, papers in hand, would I evict her soul's echo? Nah. I'd offer coffee, black, no foam, and watch her choke on the truth. Summer scorched Manhattan like a bad breakup. Humid, unrelenting, everyone sniping over AC vents and subway delays. Vanguard cooled off in its own bubble. The new co-op board, me as advisor, not king. Greenlit splash pads for kids, turning the courtyard into a squealing oasis. I dove into normalcy. dating a barista named Sophia with laugh lines and a tattoo of Frida Kahlo on her collarbone. "You're that eviction guy?" she asked on our first walk in High Line, wildflowers nodding like gossips. I braced for the interrogation, but she just smirked. "Cool. My abuela got booted from her rent stabilized in the 80s. Buy her a building next?" We laughed, and for the first time, it felt light. No weight of what-ifs. Work ramped up. Lena tapped me for a passion project, app for tracking housing violations, crowdsourced by tenants nationwide. "Your origin story sells it," she said, eyes twinkling. I coded late, fueled by Sophia's arepas, recipe swiped for mom, dreaming of scaling Vanguard's model. But normalcy's fragile as a gel manicure in a bodega fight. The call came at 2 a.m., shattering glass, literally, as my phone tumbled off the nightstand. "Alex, it's Raj. Emergency board meet now." Groggy, I threw on sweats, Sophia mumbling, "Go save the world," as I bolted. The lobby glowed eerie under fluorescence, a huddle of bleary faces, the nurse clutching coffee, an elder tenant in slippers. Raj thrust a tablet at me. Email from Hargrove Holdings Remnants, CC to the city. Notice of lien. Unpaid renovation fees from pre-ownership era. Demand. Immediate foreclosure auction. Foreclosure? My blood iced. Vicky's final gasp. Digging up archaic debts from Preston's botched conversion bid. Inflated with interest and legalese gibberish. $1.20 mil. Payable in 30 days, or the whole shebang hits the block. "She's bluffing," I growled, scrolling. But the lawyer's sig was legit. Some ambulance chaser she'd hired on contingency. Whispers rose. "Can she do this? What about our leases?" Dawn broke as we lawyered up. My firm's pro bono team, bleary but fierce. "It's a Hail Mary," lead counsel assured. "A sharp Brooklynite named Tara. Stale claim, barred by statute. But she'll drag it, tie you in knots till the auction." Drag. That's Vicky's playbook. Exhaust, erode, evict. By noon, leaks hit patch.com. Vanguard Towers faces axe. Secret owners' debts exposed. Tenants panicked. Voicemails piled. "Alex, we can't lose this." I spun into damage control. Town hall that evening, pizza boxes stacked like barricades. "This is harassment 2.0, I told the crowd, projecting the email's BS clauses. "We're countersuing for frivolous filing, again." Nods, but fear lingered. The single mom teared up. "My kid's school starts here." Mia, home for break, live streamed the whole thing. Stand with Vanguard, no eviction too. Views surged, donations trickled for a legal fund. Vicky's count a move? A presser from a yacht off Miami, all sun-kissed and smug. "I'm not the villain," she cooed to a fawning blogger, wind tousling her extensions. "Mr. Rivera's mismanagement buried this debt. Tenants deserve transparency. Bid at the auction, good people." Hashtag Save Vanguard trended, co-opted by our bots. Brit amplified, posting yacht selfies with captions. "Mom's fighting for what's right." Who's with her? The outrage flipped. "Old allies demanding, WTF, Alex? Hiding debts." It burned, that betrayal echo. Sophia held me that night, tracing my knuckles. "You're doing good. She's just noise." But noise erodes resolve. The app launch tanked. Investors cited litigation risk. Lena pulled strings for bridge loans, but the stress carved hollows under my eyes. Dad, sensing the storm, dragged me fishing upstate. Hudson River dawns, bass tugging lines like forgotten dreams. Remember why, Eho? Not for glory. For them. Him, nodding at a photo of young me, gap-toothed on his shoulders. Refocused, I went scorched earth legal. FOIAs on Hargrove's pack ties, deposing their witnesses, Preston's golf buddies, all. One cracked under Tara's grill. Vicky said pay dirt or perjure. Gold. We filed for sanctions, motion to dismiss. Meanwhile, community armored up, petitions to council, viral vids of kids splashing in the courtyard. "This is home. Don't take it." Lin-Manuel retweeted again. "Art imitates life. Don't let the Karens rewrite the script." The hearing loomed like a thunderhead, federal court packed with press and protesters. Vicky testified remote, pixelated and petulant. He stole my vision. I took the stand, voice steady as the judge's oak bench. Your Honor, this debt is fiction. Waive in the sale, confirmed by emails. I cued the exhibit. Her own sig on the waiver, bold as brass. Gasps rippled. Her feed froze mid-snarl. Dismissal granted, sanction slapped. $250K in fees. Her lawyer disbarred referral. Outside, cheers drown the rain. Tenants mob me with hugs. The single moms, thank you, cracking my chest. Vicky's yacht presser? Crickets. Brit's posts? Deleted in a spam wave. Peace, fragile but real. Fall leaves turned, Sophia and I deepening. Weekends in the Catskills, her head on my shoulder under quilts. The app relaunched stronger, users spiking post-win. But victory's Pyrrhic, the fight scarred us all. Tenants eyed me wary at first. No more secrets? Trust rebuilt brick by brick. One crisp November Eve, a package arrived. Unmarked heavy. Inside, a gavel-shaped paperweight, engraved to the true owner, from a former queen. No, but I knew. Vicky's white flag? Or taunt? I chucked it in the Hudson next fish trip, ripples fading like her threats. Cycle spin on, but we'd bent the wheel. Vanguard stood taller, roots deeper. And me? Wiser, wearier, but whole. Ready for the next Karen, keys in hand. By Christmas, the lean fiasco felt like a bad dream. Fuzzy edges, waking sweat-soaked but safe. Vanguard decked the halls proper. Twinkling lights strung by Raj's engineering crew. A menorah next to the tree for the nurse's family. Luminarias for our Noche Buena. Mom outdid herself. Pernil roasting slow. The scent curling through vents like a hug. Sophia met the clan official. Charming dad with her salsa moves and Mia with snarky K-pop recs. She's a keeper. Dad whispered post-dinner as we washed dishes to boleros. Yeah, Pops. She was. The new year brought blooms. App downloads hit 50K. Partnerships with HUD for nationwide rollouts. Lena promoted me to director. Social impact. Fancy title for keep fighting the good fight. I traveled light. Philly co-ops, Detroit revamps. Sharing the blueprint. Transparency trusts, cap flips, gardens as glue. Audiences leaned in, eyes hungry for hope in Rust Belt hollows. Your proof, a Detroit elder said post-talk, gripping my hand. Underdogs bite. Echoes of dad, warming me against Midwest chills. But peace whispers lies, trouble prowls in DMs and drafts. Spring unearthed it. An email from an unknown sender. VH. One last play. Attachment, a draft complaint, Hargrove versus Rivera et al., alleging fraudulent conveyance on the building sale. Stale? Sure, but time for Max Mess. Mid-app beta, my TEDx invite pending. She's broke, the email continued, but Spite's free. Zenda? Preston, post-divorce, spilling tea for catharsis. In a kid, or she'll haunt forever. Spite's currency, Vicky's vintage. I forwarded to Tara. Weaponize. We preempted with a blog series, Lessons from the Lean Lie, dissecting her playbook for housing advocates. It went nuts. Podcasts booked me. From evictee to advocate my hook. Sophia joked. You're famouser than me now, but her eyes held worry. Nights I paced, muttering motions. Brit resurfaced too, rebranded as reformed heiress, dropping a podcast. Daughter of entitlement. Episodes dissected toxic legacy, name-dropping me as the catalyst. Fair play? Kinda. Listeners aided. Redemption arcs sell. She even guessed it on my app's promo spot. Mom taught me wrong. Alex showed the way. I demurred the collab, but nodded respect. Cycles bend, not break easy. The climax crashed Memorial Day weekend. A Vanguard Unity Fest, I'd half-joked into reality. Bands, brewskis, bounce houses on the green. Crowds swelled, locals, activists, even a counselor for ribbon snips. Mid-set, as a reggaeton DJ dropped beats, sirens wailed. Cops swarmed, zip ties out, herding us like cattle. Disorderly assembly. A sergeant barked, badge glinting mean. Chaos, kids wailing, Sophia shielding a toddler, me yelling, "This is permitted!" Arrest flew. Me cuffed to Raj, Tara on speed dial. Backstory? Vicky's last card. Anonymous tip to NYPD claiming unpermitted fireworks. A kid's sparkler for God's sake. Laced with known agitator ties. Overreach, but it stuck. Mugshots splashed online. Vanguard arrest trending with her fingerprints. Brit condemned it live. Not in my name. But damage bloomed. Sponsors pulled from the app. TEDx rescinded. Jail stint? 48 hours in holding. Concrete bench my throne. Mind-racing scenarios. Released on bail, I faced the press gauntlet. Mr. Rivera, is this payback from the Hargrove camp? Mike Jungle, flashes blinding. Payback? This is suppression. We're suing for everything. Tara filed Dawn. Civil rights violation, malicious prosecution, pointing straight at Vicky's IP trail, Preston's leak gold. The bitter brew peaked in discovery. Depots of her tipster, alias, a desperate ex-employee paid in IOUs. Vicky's remote depot? A spectacle, pale, pinched, lawyer to the gills. I suggested vigilance, she hedged, eyes darting. Tara pounced. Vigilance via false reports? That's perjury adjacent. Ms. Hargrove. Cracks showed. Tears, not crocodile. I lost everything. You took my life. Pity flickered again, but fury banked it. You lost at evicting families. This, consequences. Jury saw it too. Verdict, liable $750,000 plus injunction on future filings. Her empire? Dust. The yacht repoed, Palm Beach pad foreclosed. Last tabloid snap. Her lugging boxes to a Jersey motel, blonde faded, fight gone flat. Brit visited post-trial, coffee in hand at a neutral Starbucks. Mom's. Broken. Therapy's helping, but she rants about you still. Awkward sip. Tell her truce. No more games. She nodded, eyes soft. For what it's worth, thanks. You ended the cycle. We parted odd allies. Her pod shouted out the app. Summer waned, scars fading. Sophia and I road-tripped the coast. Big Sur cliffs, her hand in mine, wind whipping doubts away. Vanguard rebuilt. Fest rescheduled, bigger, with cop liaisons for trust. App hit 100K, HUD grant locked. Mom's catering catered the White House correspondence. Latina power. Dad fished with grandkids-to-be. Mia interned at City Hall. Rivera Claus, her baby. Tenant buyout mandates. Me? I proposed on that balcony. Keys dangling from the ring. Build a life with me? Sophia's yes tasted like home. Weddings loomed. Blended, boisterous, Boricua beats mingling with her Colombian cumbia. Vicky? Faded to footnotes, a cautionary TEDx of her own, from Karen to cautionary. I watched once alone, nodding at the growth. Bitter end? Nah, bittersweet close. In this city of second acts, we all rewrite. And Vanguard? Still standing, roots unshakable, a testament. When the betrayed buys the building, the story flips. For good.